Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, happy weekend. Welcome to Embracing Infinity. I'm Jennifer Rose, and we are on the Sacred Spiral Network. I hope you all are doing well. I'm getting kind of excited for summer. We're just about a week away, I think. So I'm getting really excited for the start of summer, but the weather's already getting bright and warm. So super happy about that. But welcome, everybody. I see everyone starting to join us. So happy to see you all here. And I'm so excited to be, in just a moment, welcoming my special guest, Shannon Ratay. She's a dear friend of mine, and she's absolutely amazing in so many different ways. And so we're going to have a beautiful discussion with all of you here today about living an extraordinary life. And you know, that's our jam. So let's do that today. And let's really, we hope to motivate you and inspire you once again, and furthermore, to keep growing, keep expanding, and keep following your dreams as well too today. So very quickly, I just have a few announcements to share with all of you here today. 2 more shows coming up today, this Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. in the UK. Miss Kelly Brickle, who is our producer, owner, and creator of the Sacred Spiral Network, will be hosting the Psychic Hour with guest Danny Santos. He is a fabulous medium, astrologer, and healer. Many of you probably remember he's been on Embracing Infinity and the Love Show a few times too, doing astrology shows and everything fun about that too. So that's going to be a not to miss show for sure. And then coming up at 6:30 p.m. Pacific and 2:30 a.m. in the UK, I will be back with my lovely host, Nancy Muratalla, my co-host Nancy Muratalla, for Fashionably Spiritual. This is our first day now on Fridays, once a month at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So we're very excited to be talking all about energy coming up this evening. So 2 more fabulous shows for you all to enjoy and learn from coming up today. Now, coming up this Sunday, my dear friends, is my For the Love of Spirit Sunday spiritual service. And my guest medium is, once again, Danny Santos. So we're excited to have him on for the first time for the Love of Spirit. And we always have mediumship, inspiration, poetry, healing, and love. Kelly Brickle and Nancy Muratalla and Fran Pierce join me, as I lovingly call my angel team, and we all have a part to play in the service. If you'd like to come and join us, please go to my website, www.mediumjenniferrose.com, and just follow the steps when you go into the events page. And it's free or donation, and you just have to follow steps, and then you will be able to receive your confirmation Zoom link, etc. So we would love to have you with us. It's a very safe, loving space to be in. Everybody moves with that spiritual glow. So we would just love to see you join us as well too. So and then coming up on Monday, everyone, we've got the full lineup once again. We've got Karen Boniofilia with her shows Inner Realms, Outer Journeys. I believe that's at 2 p.m. I hope I've got that right, Pacific time, followed by Be in the Light with Brian Lahr at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. And that's 12:30 in the UK, followed by my sister show, The Love Show, at 6 p.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. in the UK, which means I got Brian's time wrong. 4 plus 8 is 12:30 for Brian. 2 a.m. for me. Apologize, Brian. It's hard keeping track of so many shows. Anyways, my guests for the Love Show are Naomi and Martin, creators of The Space Between, and they are relationship educators. So we have a really special show planned for you. So please do come. You're bound to learn something, get something new, and maybe heard something that you didn't hear before. So we would love to see you on Monday as well. And my next Embracing Infinity, I've got Melissa Callahan joining me. She is an intuitive coach and a spiritual teacher. And we're going to be talking all about the higher self, which is really, really important. So please do join us for that as well. So thank you so much for listening to all of our announcements. It looks like we've got a lot of you have all made it on here today too. So I normally say my hellos right now, but Shannon and I wanted to do it together with all of you because we both know and love you all so much. So without further ado, let's bring in the lovely Shannon Ratay.
Hello,
Hello, Angel.
Jennifer. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It's always such a joy and a delight to get to spend time and space with you.
Oh, and thank you for taking the time. I know you have a really busy schedule. You work long hours, as do I. And so finding the time to do this is extra special. So I want to thank you for carving out this little hour and a half or so to be with all of us here today. TGI. So that was a cute group. We're having some fun in the comments already. So anyways, my dears, let's go ahead and say hi to everybody, shall we, Shannon?
Let's do it. I have been having a great time seeing all of your fans say hello to each other. So I'm excited to get the chance to say hi to Brian and of course Heidi. Hello, Mandy and Jennifer McCormick. Thanks so much for being here.
Beautiful, yes. And Kim Princess is here as well. Great to see you, Kim Princess. And Mary Coombs, great to see you too. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Labyrinth Criterion. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Me and My Shadow, once again, back again. Hello, Me and My Shadow. Great to see you. There is our friend Jeffrey as well. Susan Kramer too. The comments are coming in so fast. Hello, Jeffrey. Thanks for being here. And to our beautiful Susan Kramer, thank you for being here as well too. I'll let you have it now, Shannon. I'll pop them up on the screen here.
I'm going to shout out your guy, Arnie, because of course, I know, there you go, right? Like 2 hands up for Arnie. Hi, Jennifer McCormick. Hi, Linda Owen. It's so good to see you here. We've got Crystal Gallegos and Mary Combs and Patrick Monahan. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, Patrick, but so many of our favorites all here in one place.
I know, we're so lucky. Brian's like, hey there, shiny girls.
That's right.
the shiny, happy people, California girls.
Oh, and Bernadette just said hello as well. Hi, Bernadette. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Bernadette.
And Carla Ann. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I admit it's such a treat,
Arnie.
Right? Because, so true. So true. Flattery works. You can just keep it coming.
It really
Arnie.
does. Keep it coming. I'm a sucker. I take it all in.
I know I can speak for Jennifer, where she's just fine with that.
So, okay, beautiful angel. I love to call Shannon Queen of Angels because she truly is. And she's just one of the most loving, beautiful people I've gotten the privilege to be friends with too. So I'm going to read your bio just in case there's anybody new who hasn't gotten to know you just yet. And this is just a smidgen, but we'll give just the short version here. Miss Shannon Ratay, CPCC, is a leadership coach, career coach, facilitator, and workshop leader by day. By night and weekend, she is a medium and angel communicator whose gifts include communicating the messages of our spiritual team of helpers. Whether Shannon is helping clients advance their careers and get their dream job, or connecting people to the spiritual realm, she is using her unique connection to spirit to assist others in tapping into their own intuition, inner knowing, and universal knowledge. Her calling is to empower others. Shannon lives in Oakland and spends her spare time studying all things energy and adventuring around the Bay Area. She's also the host of Guided Life on the Sacred Spiral Network. And I should say, co-host of Messages from the Enchanted Realms with myself and Queen of Fairies, Fran Pierce. And we will be on that show and Guided Life, I believe, next Saturday. Is that correct, Shannon?
That is Saturday the 20th. So yes, that sounds exactly
yes. So
right.
a week from tomorrow. Both really, really fun shows. We get very lively, so you're definitely gonna leave with a smile.
Yes,
you don't have to
Queen
even
Fran.
believe in angels and fairies. Just come and enjoy the comedic tone that we like to.
Yes, never a dull moment with Queen of the Fairies, Fran. So.
It's true. And it's her birthday. I think it's one day before her birthday, but we're going to be celebrating Queen Fairy Fran's birthday. So please, everybody, bring your chocolate cake, have it with you, eat it with us. We're going to be enjoying some cake and worshiping the Queen of Fairyland, Fran Pierce. So, like we did last year, and it's a better year this year for her because after our show with her last year. She had some health issues that kind of slowed her down for a while, but she's now made this beautiful recovery. So we've got a lovely energy that she comes in with for the rest of the year with all of us. But by the way, everybody, you can find Shannon on Instagram at Shannon Ratay, and she also has a new YouTube channel at Shannon Ratay as well. And so does Medium Jennifer Rose. So if you could pretty please go and subscribe to our YouTube channels to help us grow, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you. I asked very nicely.
You did. I'm impressed. That was very polite.
It's so easy to press the button and it gives you a little celebration when it happens and it helps us grow. And it's just a nice little way to say thank you. So we appreciate it.
Very much.
All right.
Very much.
All right, my dear Shannon. Let's hop into it, unless you would like to say anything before we hop into it. I'm getting all excited.
No, this is fantastic. I think I just saw Michael Christopher come on, and
oh,
so
yes.
just a little hi to him.
Yes,
it's always a treat to see him in the comments. But yeah, let's jump right in. I think that's what I was so excited about you asking me to do this, because I really do enjoy the conversations that we're always having on the side, like the things that I assume that we'll be talking about today, or some of the things that you and I are always chewing on in our spare conversations. So to get to do this here with everyone, I just couldn't be more delighted.
Yeah, me too. We really have some deep, high thought talks together. Shannon and I meet very regularly, and yay! Thank you, Jennifer. And we've said often, it's nice to be able to share some of this with others as well, so that we can all benefit together in the pursuit of living a great life and excellence and knowing more and connecting more ideas. But this is what you do all day long. I know you help people with their careers, but it's so much more than that. You use your intuition, and the career part is like helping them to truly like live a life of their dreams.
Absolutely. I like to say that that maybe finding a dream job, right? Like that people can understand the urgency of that. Like, oh, I really want to find my next job. I really want to land my next position. And that can be a bit of the carrot, right? Like, oh, there's an immediacy to needing to check that off the list, to get that issue solved, to get that thing accomplished. But the way that we get to go about it gets to then be the process and adding in the tools, the skills, the way of thinking that really changes people's lives forevermore. And so much of what I do in the shows and in my spiritual practice has been informed by what I've learned from my coaching practice, and which is like when people learn how to work with their guidance team, when people learn how to tap into their intuition, when people learn how to utilize their own guidance, I mean, that's the thing that years and years later that people will come back to me and say like, oh my gosh, Shannon, yes, I got that great job, but my whole life has been different because I've been able to use all of those tools and all of those skills I've learned around using my own intuition and guidance to really transform my entire life. So yeah, it's a huge gift to me, and it's also a huge gift to them.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I had to do one of my little magic things on the AirPods because I was wanting to make sure that we all sound better too. And so we spend so much of our lives working.
Yes.
I mean, you
Yes.
and I spend a lot of our lives working. So if we're not doing it, doing something that we love or that gives us value or that then we got to stop and look at that. So how can we really truly live a life of our dreams? It's funny because right before we're about to go live, this song came on my phone. I mean, it had to be synchronicity because it was all about, living she said, living the life of your daydreams, not what you're just dreaming about it at night. I hope someday. She's like, no, live the life that you dreamt of when you were a kid, we didn't tell in the song. She's like, we didn't tell children they were wrong for imagining themselves to be an astronaut or whatever they wanted to be. Right. But then when you get older, all it's like, oh no, it's just buckle down, just do something practical versus what you actually want to create.
Well, I think what you're touching upon is really important because I'm not sure how many people know this, but before I started career coaching, I was what I like to affectionately call a job collector. And by job collector, I mean, I went from job to job. I would be in a job about 3 months and be like, oh gosh, I do not like this job. And so I had quite the collection of jobs. And what finally happened is I realized okay, I'm not making any progress. I had to do my own personal quest, right? My own, right? How do people find jobs they like? How do people know that they love the work and the jobs that they're doing? Because everyone else seemed to be fine. And it was so confusing to me because, I live here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I was like, you set me free on the Bay Area here and I can entertain myself for days, weeks, probably years, right? So how could I love to do so many things in this world and yet continue to despise all these jobs? And what I ultimately discovered from all of this switching is that I actually love finding jobs more than I like keeping them. And so now I just live vicariously through all the people that I work with. But I will say that I learned firsthand how things are different when you're doing work that you love, right? Just how much I was dragging my feet, what a slog it was when I was in the drudgery of a job that was, just not a good match, right? And, granted, not everyone has the ability to switch jobs, switch roles, but when it's possible for someone to be doing work that they love, right, it changes everything. It changes the way they show up for their family, their friends, their community. There's just so much more energy and possibility. And I like to joke, right, I can't fix the world, but that can be my own personal contribution to world peace because it just makes a huge difference when people have the ability to do work that lights them up and do things that really, is their soul's work in the world.
You and I are very similar creatures. We're helping others to do what they love in different ways too. And it is in fact so rewarding. There's just something about that's, being able to help people find the space for them where they can do what they love to. You mentioned energy, Shannon, and I know that that's something that you're quite talented in understanding. Is that something that you implement when you're working with your clients? And I'm sure there's people here who are watching too that are maybe thinking of changing jobs or wanting to make what they have better. Maybe they can't leave right away for financial reasons and things like that, contractual reasons, but they want to make things better. How could they? Is that something that you kind of help to weave into your coaching and how?
Yes. Yeah. A little bit of both. I think the first thing for anyone who is contemplating something different or something better or just a better match, right? What I've seen consistently over the years is that the people who pull off the most incredible things, right? My clients continue to surprise me in terms of what they create, is that the ones that create the most incredible situations, opportunities, are the ones that give themselves the permission to dream the biggest, right? They give themselves that permission to not be limited by convention or what other people think, or even what they think is realistically possible. And so it's in that dreaming that the whole chain reaction begins. And from an energetic perspective, when people allow themselves to dream, that right away begins the energetics, the changing of the energetics and the way people are engaging with the future. Now, in terms of my own energy, my own energy study and the way that I work with energy, I can get a little bit in the weeds with this, so I'll try and keep it a bit high level. But for me, it's always very much doing my best to be a coherent field, right? So often we go to the ocean or we go to the mountains, and we use these places with coherent fields to regulate our own system. And so what I've learned over the years is that if I can show up in that way, if I can show up as that coherent field, my own way, my own version of the mountains or the ocean, that I can help other people's nervous system. And it just creates this safer place, this place with more permission, this more freedom for people to dream and take action, because I become this place where people have the ability to come and regulate their systems. So that's a beginning of the conversation of the energetics around it, but definitely something that I'm always playing with and enjoying in the background.
I love that so much. I'm not sure if I even ever thought of it that way. It's like you're becoming the field, the mountains, the ocean, that space where when we go there, we harmonize with our environment, and then are able to look at things in a more clear way with a future forward focus.
Yeah. Right. Well, I know you're a beach girl, right? Like you love to go to the beach. I would imagine, that you can, even right now thinking about that, feel what happens to your system and understand what happens to your system when you're there with the waves and the energy that's rolling off of the ocean crashing.
Absolutely. It's almost like instant. I don't even have to have I can just be walking to the path, and then I start to see it. And it's like walking through a portal, because it is a field and it's very different. And then you walk and it's like, oh, and then getting your feet in the sand and the grounding that comes with that too. It's so beautiful, but you're becoming the beach. You're becoming
I'm not quite as good as the beach or quite as good as the ocean, right? Like that's still aspirational, but definitely working on consistently being my own version. The Shannon version of that kind of
I love that
regulating field.
And if people are like job searching, or they're going in for interviews, or they're applying and looking and things like that, is there sort of an energetic mindset as well that's good for them to hold?
Yeah, I think what's really fascinating about that is, it's really normal for people to get nervous, for people, especially with interviewing, to get nervous, to really judge themselves harshly. And what I really like people to remember is this is just like any other relationship, right? Like it's just like any other relationship where you're simply looking for a good match. And the right people, the right matches put us at ease, right? That with the right people, an interview becomes just a conversation. And so just in the same way that we might design with our friends or ask permission with our friends, so much of what takes the pressure off is people going in and just naming like, oh gosh, I'm a little nervous, right? Like if it takes me a little extra time to think of an example, it's just because I'm nervous. And so building that sense of permission and building that relationship with the right people, that it makes everything easier and makes the right matches apparent. So going at things like, oh, hey, is this going to be a good match for me? As opposed to, oh gosh, I need to go in and impress people. And that can be a real game changer for people as they head into interviews.
Very different energy of, will that person like me, versus this is a good fit. I'm gonna see how this aligns. Yeah, those are very different energies.
Just like any relationship. That's exactly right.
Yeah. I love that so much, Shannon. And Do you have any funny stories you can share with us?
Oh gosh. Yeah. It's so funny, right? Like I was thinking recently about, I was thinking about your question earlier about,
Mm,
mindset and energetics. And so, as people are starting to dream, um, often people are like, well, yeah, but I have no, idea, or like that's too big of a thing to even consider. And just to name that, like one of my clients, she didn't know what she wanted to do, but the beginning of her dream is that whatever she did next, she wanted every day to feel like Saturday, right? So her dream in the beginning was, I am going to find work in which every day is Saturday. And so, it was a really simple way, right? And I can see the smile on your face, right? Like that freedom to decide. And what she ultimately ended up doing was becoming the personal teacher for a 14-year-old for this very, very wealthy family, this extremely wealthy family. So literally every day she would hang out with a 14-year-old. And because she was doing online school with her, she was traveling the world, going to Asia, to New York, to the Bahamas. So she had this huge adventurous life. And so it was her version of every day being Saturday, because that freedom, that flexibility, that creativity, that fun was exactly what she ended up doing. And that was not where she started off when she came up with that every day is Saturday kind of experience. So in terms of inspiration of a place and a way to dream, that's one of my favorite stories in terms of a place and a way to begin. So I'll start you there. I've got some more for along the way. That's probably a good one to get us started.
I love that so much, and maybe we should have titled the show something about living your dreams, but it's still all perfect too. But I love that so much because she focused her awareness like in a different kind of way of what she wanted to feel like versus just what she wanted to do, and that changed everything for her. And look what that created. Because a
You
lot of people don't even think out of the box that way.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Because when people don't know what they want to do, that's exactly where I have them begin, is that idea of like, regardless of what I want to do, how do I want to feel while I'm doing it? Right? Like, oh gosh, I want this sense of satisfaction, or I want this sense of freedom and possibility. And so when people don't know what it is they want to do, simply honing in on how they want to feel and starting to create and cultivate that, talk about energetics, right? Like,
Mhm.
what they're doing is creating. So if they want to feel like every day is Saturday, that idea of the next job coming out of a world in which every day is Saturday, as opposed to having to wait to get the perfect thing for every day to feel like Saturday. So nope, you're spot on. That's
That's so
exactly
cool.
right.
I mean, it's very manifestation oriented for sure, and it's like I have a feeling that's like she like not what she expected. Like she probably maybe hadn't seen herself doing something like that, and then yet it worked out perfectly. And so it reminds us all that things can work out maybe even better than the way we're envisioning it, than the way we think we want it. It can turn out even better
You got it.
beyond your wildest dreams.
Well, especially because she was the first person to go to college in her family, right? Like she did not come from this background. And then even when she went to interview for this position, she had to borrow money from a friend for a plane ticket to go out and interview, because she didn't have enough money to buy a plane ticket. So to go from growing up in, a situation where there was not any extra money by any stretch of the imagination, to then traveling the world with billionaires, literally, yeah, like this ability to dream and let herself really be open to the possibilities. I mean, she's my definition of creating an extraordinary life.
Yeah. And I think it's good to talk about these examples because these are people just like you and me and everybody here. And it's like, so we need to get it maybe out of our limited thinking of what we think is actually possible for ourselves. And there's been plenty of other people who have moved to a totally new place with less than $50 in their pocket and somehow found a way to become successful. But there was, it's like there's a pull in you, or there's some kind of energy or force that's within you. And I think when we get in touch with that, that everything starts to come your way. You find a way.
100%.
You know?
100%. And I think that's what's been so fascinating, that theme, that stream that runs through my work with the angels and the angel messengers,
Yeah.
is that our angels so much want to help us and help our dreams come true. And so to, over the years, right, see who actually gets what they want, right? Like, and how it shows up and who has these things magically work out. On one hand, that ability to dream. And then you're exactly right? There's a bit of that energy of manifestation, opening yourself up to receiving, asking for help. And then, in my, watching my own relationship with the angels, and then them coming in saying, oh, we want to help, ask us. Simply by asking us for help helps you line up energetically to be able to receive and get ready for the miracles to come your way. It's some practicality sprinkled in with some miracles. So you're exactly right.
Yeah. I do that too with before my readings. I always set that intention of, putting my own self aside and making myself available for spirit, for my client. And then, so I'm putting myself with an open heart and an open mind of this is all about them, and thanking them for trusting me. And then I ask, please give me everything I need to help this person. Please give me good information, accurate information, validated, all of that too. And it really works when I take the time to just do that, set the intention and ask both. It works.
It works. And it's also one of my favorite things you were talking about, how we're so similar, and you're exactly right? Like, I like helping people find their dream jobs. And then, like, literally everything that's happened from the spiritual side, my own shows and co-hosting with you, has come directly from you, right? Like, you have been, to a degree, my own coach in terms of opening up this whole window of possibility that I didn't even see for myself, around being able to do this work to help people on a broader scale. And so I think, in terms of just so much appreciation for you, and the natural and seamless and humble way that you do this for me and so many of us, it's really an honor to be here for this sort of full circle moment. Like, we're talking about me in a little bit, but like, actually, oh gosh, here's Jennifer's done exactly that for me in my life.
Aw, thank you, Shannon. Yeah, you'll make me cry. So sweet. It is very fun to kind of play fairy godmother and give people opportunities to shine, opportunities to share. That's what the Sunday service is for too. And then the shows are a platform for that as well, to give everybody a chance to shine when we're all doing it together and expanding, but it's fun to it's like, you see something inside of somebody, it's there, and you just have to like show it to or reflect it back to them. And that's what you do too. So it's like just reflecting back to somebody the potential that they may not see for themselves, and magic happens.
Well, and one of my favorite relationships are the relationships where we get to take turns being the teacher, right? Like, we get to take turns being the one that knows. And so, I think that's something that, in our conversations, sometimes it's, you're the one that knows, and you're the one that's sharing and dispensing some wisdom and helping me get all straightened out and figured out. And then on the flip side, sometimes I'm the one with the wisdom, but that taking that turn being the teacher, those are really such rich relationships where that reciprocity just flows back and forth so easily.
Yeah, thank you. Very true. You've held space for me many times.
Well, and, maybe once or twice for me, right? Like,
God bless you, Shannon.
Not me. I got it all figured out. Like, I often joke, right? Like, never hire a life coach for whom life comes easily, right? Because, I've definitely had to like dig my way through and muck my way through to figure a lot of stuff out. With the help of my friends. Absolutely.
Very true. We both have had to go through a lot to be able to do this work. It's the only way that we're relatable to people, the way we can understand them without judgment, hold space for them without judgment. If you haven't been through stuff, it's harder. It really is. You just don't have the depth of connection. So I give all of my mountains I've had to climb some credit for that. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know about that one, but I will give. I will say I appreciate that part.
Yeah, nope, but I don't have it figured out by any stretch of the imagination. It's still consistently a work in process and committed to the continual growth and development.
Exactly. There's no ending point. There's no arrival. You just keep going because the expansion is going to keep coming. The learning opportunities are to keep coming. So I've redefined enlightenment as it's not this like you become this forever all knowing, non-human entity. It's just means you've awakened and will continue to, and
Absolutely.
that's a much softer definition to, yes, Evelyn, we do all learn from one another. Key is to keeping a beginner's mind open. Love that. Yeah.
That is exactly right. And you're one of my favorite examples of that, Evelyn, both holding the wisdom and yet also being open to receiving more. It's such a beautiful way to be.
It sure is. And hi, Vivian. Aloha. Miss Vivian Shannon was just in Hawaii. She was just in your neck of the woods. So you both have an aloha spirit here today.
Yes.
Vivian lives in Hawaii.
I was on Kauai. I waved, waved.
Oh, you already know that.
Ocean. Yeah. Waved from across the ocean. Vivian gave you a little aloha from
that makes me so happy. That's so happy. I love that too. Okay. All right, Miss Shannon. Are there any other stories that you might want to share with us that maybe we could learn from or be inspired from?
Well, I think the one that comes to mind right now is that spirit of going for it, right? Like often when people are considering doing something new or have a venture, right? They wait till they get it perfect, or they wait to reach out to somebody to have a conversation, to learn more. And so I was working with a woman who was based out of Arkansas, and she was looking for a new job. And she was in a bit of a bind in that there was a very small select number of organizations that she was interested in working with. There was a very small, narrow one. And one particular organization that she was interested in, they were doing clothing for NASA and she didn't know anyone who worked there. And so she was a scientist, and we were looking through LinkedIn and looking at all these pictures. And I came across a gentleman at that particular organization, and he lived in Arkansas, but in his picture, I could tell that his picture was taken in San Francisco because it was in front of the Painted Ladies. And he was wearing some pretty sassy pink pants in this picture. And wearing pink pants is a bit more of a bolder move for LinkedIn. People tend to play it a little bit safe. And, so his pink pants and some, in this LinkedIn picture, I was like, oh my gosh, you need to reach out to Pink Pants Man. I've got a really good feeling. Just reach out to him, see if he'll have lunch with you. And she said to me, she's like, Shannon, that sounds like the worst idea I've ever heard of. That sounds horrible. But for you, I'll do it. For you, I'll give it a shot. But yeah, I would never do this on my own. So the next time I talked to her, she's like, guess what? Pink Pants Man, he responded to my message. We had lunch. And he told me everything, right? He told me everything about his job. He was fantastic. And he said he's going to pass my resume along to his boss. Fast forward, the next time I talked to her, she was like, hey, Shannon, I talked to Pink Pants Man's boss. And it turns out Pink Pants Man is getting ready to leave and go back to school. So they're actually looking to fill his position. And long story short, she ended up getting Pink Pants Man's role, and they adjusted it because she had already been to school. So they adjusted it for her role and her level. And so, yeah, she's now, designing clothing for NASA, but became this story of going for it because, reaching out to someone she didn't know, and then Pink Pants Man totally hooked her up. And it was, just a little bit of intuition, like, oh, this is the guy, reach out to him. But just that a little word of encouragement, if ever, sort of reaching out, doing the unknown, making the scary call in terms of somebody that you don't know, that you just never know who is going to be open and receptive and happy to help you and transform your life.
That's such a cool story. That's such a cool story. We love Pink Pants Man.
We do. We do.
Oh,
That
no,
might
we
be
love Pink
another
Pants Man.
message. When you're looking through LinkedIn, pick out your own Pink Pants Man, right? Like,
Yeah. So it kind of seems like the theme that's sort of developing is it's like getting past our mental limitations too, and doing things differently. Because I think what happened a lot, and we will be realistic, the economy is challenging right now.
it's
Things are
challenging.
very, very expensive, right? So the idea of stepping out of the box, with what we see is like, I can't make this change because I need to make this amount of money. Like, so those kinds of thoughts, those happen, and and then stepping out of the box to like put yourself out there in a way that you haven't before, like with Pink Pants Man too. So it's like we have these mindsets that say I can't do this because I can't do this because this I won't be able to make money this way, I won't be able to be successful this way, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy, I have all the and they're not wrong, they're very true things, but how can we not let them prevent us from living an extraordinary life?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like to joke that like anything that gets in the way of us taking action are just the aliens that invade our brain, right? Like it's sort of that like unexpected.
I like
Right,
that.
like back in the day, the old school movies where like everything's going great, and then the aliens show up, and you're like, oh no, the whole world has stopped. So yeah, just those thoughts in our mind, the aliens that invade our brain, and it's really normal, right? Like job search is an inner critic playground, right? And within job search, our inner critic is simply just amygdala response, right? Like it's a misguided attempt to keep us safe. It's the part of our brain that sees the snake first and then realizes, oh gosh, it's just the garden hose, right? Like that's the like, oh gosh, this is never going to work out. That snake, right? That's just the garden hose. Oh, it's not going to work out. Everyone's going to, think horribly of me. All of those thoughts that get in the way of us taking action are just the unique way that inner critic shows up for our job search. And if people can figure out how to work with that inner critic in their job search, that really is the place where I was talking about some of the ways, the skills and the techniques that change people's lives, that learning how to work with that inner critic during job search allows people to work with that inner critic for the rest of their lives and really transform everything. That's the gift that keeps on giving. I like to joke, right, that like our inner critics just find newer and different problems to give us a hard time on. But once you have that strategy and once you have that way of noticing when they're the ones that are giving us the hard time, and it's not the truth, it's just that reptilian brain, lizard brain, undeveloped part of ourselves or lesser developed part of ourselves doing the talking, it makes a huge difference when we don't have to listen to it in the same way anymore.
Flip that. I love how you worded that. I'm telling AI to make sure to get that spot for later.
Oh, thank you.
I love how you said those thoughts are just the inner critic's playground. I just love that. And it's just trying to protect you because it's all about safety and protection, right? It's just trying to protect you, but learning to spot it and then being able to move past it. I love that so much. Hello, Elaine Staten. Good to see you. Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. And the snake versus the garden hose. We all do that. Yeah,
yes,
we all do
right?
that. Yeah.
Too many of our ancestors, right, like died from the snake. So now we just sort of see snakes everywhere, but that's just not the world we're living in right now. It's just, that's right, lizard brain, you got it. And
it's very true. That's what it is. The amygdala is our primal brain, and that's what takes over a lot of times. And we wonder why people are behaving the way they do. It's because they're just trying to be protective, but it just doesn't work out so well.
No, it doesn't at all. And yeah, especially in job search, right? Like it's, most people have gone through some time in their life where they've searched for their jobs. So you can empathize with these particular examples, but then see where they apply other places that, right? Like, so often in job search, we judge ourselves in anticipation of being judged, right? Like we're judging ourselves harshly because we think other people are judging us, but the reality is that they're never judging us as critically as we're judging ourselves. So those negative voices are not a reason to move forward. They're not a reason to not give it a shot and take the leap.
Yeah. That brings a couple things to mind too. One is I do understand we're in a position where we're hoping somebody will accept what you have to bring to the table, but it's also, it's reciprocal, because if they want you, you want it to be a package that is workable for you too, in terms of like what you get paid and what your benefits are and things like that. But where I was going with this is if we're putting the person who's doing the hiring like on some kind of pedestal, then we're looking at them as somehow more than us or like beyond being human. And I think we just remember, like, we're all human beings. Everybody goes home and, they're going to take off their heels or their clothes or their suit and put comfortable clothes on and make dinner and have a life and have feelings and emotions just like everybody else too. So it's like just not putting them on a pedestal, but just looking at this as an opportunity of sharing in the expansion of what we're doing, what we're working towards.
Well, and you're right? Because when my clients come back for an interview or they're getting ready to go for an interview, mm-hmm. I always tell them, like, I'm like Mama Bear, right? Like, I'm Mama Bear. So when you come back, you need to be prepared to tell me why that potential boss is good enough for you, right? So I want you to be able to tell me why I should let you work for them and they're good enough for you. And it's a really great way to flip the script, because it does need to be a reciprocal relationship. Yeah. It does need to be a great match.
So playing small doesn't work. And especially, we all do it, but women especially have been conditioned since being young to play small. And so that's not an easy belief system to untangle and unravel. It takes a lot of work to step into your bigness, right? And then we think, are we being egotistical? No, it's like you have to step into your bigness. It's not about thinking you're better than anybody else. It's about no longer playing small. And I do think the world needs us to do that. They need us to step into our bigness, stop playing small. It's not working. It's not helping
100%.
Anybody.
100%. So many statistics talking about how companies perform better when there is diversity of leadership, right? And so, one of those categories, one of those big areas is women and women's voices, their contributions to leadership. And, you better believe that as part of the work that I'm doing, one of my own personal soapbox issues is women being paid fairly and what they're worth. And so, which begins with that interview process and the way that they show up and the way that they value themselves as part of this entire process. But you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Yeah. It's a benefit to everyone when women and women's voices are being valued and represented at all levels of the organization, especially leadership.
Yeah, it harmonizes the energies, for sure. And that's what we're looking for. So Michael Christopher, so can I quit my day job and be a full-time medium? And he's laughing.
Come work with me, Michael. We'll make it happen.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now it's interesting because now Michael is a very authentic, and he absolutely has humility, and he's true to himself. So this is one thing I really love about Michael Christopher. So this is not about you, but what I'm saying is in the mediumship world too, because we're talking about is stepping up as females and wanting to be paid equally and things like that too. Even in the mediumship world, there can be a level of where the male gender tends to automatically get more respect than the women do in this field. And it would surprise people because it's more women than men, but it's a thing. And I've talked to other male mediums about it and they're like, yep, that's true. they know it's true too. And so that's a thing. So it's like, we've got work to do. This is okay. So it's not about, complaining about it. It's just about showing what is, and then how do we make it better? How do we level up to harmonize the energies?
100%. And what I really love about you voicing this is that's one of the ways, right? Like that's one of the ways that we combat that inequality is actually talking about it, right? So in the job world, one of the strategies to combat salary inequality is to normalize talking about salaries, right? Have women share with each other, hey, what is it you're getting paid? To not be afraid to ask men and find the men that are allies and say, hey, will you share your salary with me and I'll share what I'm making? But studies have shown when people actually share what they're making, what they're getting paid, benefiting everyone and normalizing and equalizing payment across the board. So you even having the courage right now to name it, but to have your own conversations, right? Like I'm so appreciative of your willingness and your courage to do that, because it can be a scary thing. It's when I normally bring that up to people, they're like, oh, and then, are so glad that they did it. But yeah, so for you to simply have the courage to name the importance of doing that, and that it's an issue and it's a thing.
Yeah, we can't change what we don't talk about. So we're learning that the hard way as a world right now, because we're seeing things that we didn't really want to talk about and want to look at, and we're like, oh wow, that's bad. We might want to do something about that. So, oh my goodness, too. I had another question, but it's left me for a minute. So let's see here.
That might be our signal to say hello to some more people.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Evelyn is all for Michael Christopher being a full-time medium, and she's like quite serious about it too.
Don't mess with Evelyn.
Mm-hmm. I know, right? The queen of fashion has shown up, Miss Nancy Murtala. I will see you later this evening at 6:30 Pacific for Fashionably Spiritual. And oh boy, Nancy's like, don't get me started on this topic. So Nancy also is like Michael Christopher. She has a full-time career corporate job and works as a medium as well, just like you do too, Shannon. So, so it's definitely, we cannot change what we do not talk about. Thank you, Arnie. Right there with you, bro. And Elaine Staten has joined us as well too. We love Elaine over from the UK, fabulous medium too. Vivian thought Lizard Brain was super funny. And Mary Coombs loved the Pink Pants Man story.
It's good. It's good.
It's a really good story. Yeah, it's a great story. And Kellyanne lives on Oahu, or she's on Oahu now too. So I wanted to. So
I was waving at her as well then when I was on Kauai.
Yeah. So happy that you all are here with us too. And if anyone has any questions for Shannon, please put those in now and see what we can come up with the two. I'm waiting for the question.
All good. No worries. Well, I'll say, right? Like, some of the inspiration behind the show when Jennifer and I were chatting about it is just that naming of, right, like the thread around creating an extraordinary life, right? Like, to that helping people of creating extraordinary lives. And so I think, even just that invitation too, to people out there to like take that moment to think, right? Like, I gave one example for someone who didn't know specifically, like, oh yeah, every day is Saturday, but even just to think about, right? Like, what is that thing that would make your life extraordinary? What is your definition of an extraordinary life? I don't know if that's yours, Michael Christopher, right? Getting to work full time as a medium and do that. But I think that's the other invitation as well. And, I know, yeah. Well, and I'm just sort of curious for you, Jennifer, right? Like what your relationship is to like creating an extraordinary life. Either that or helping others do it.
Well, yeah, and for me, it's both. I love doing both. I'm living my best life, step by step, and not everything goes perfectly or in the time that I wish it would. I'm still this is very much of a catch-up year because I'm in a 9-year too. But part of what I love doing is seeing what's inside of people and helping them and bringing it out for them too. It's something I've always been good at when I was little, even that I could do that. And so these are ways that I do that. So somehow that's been part of my calling or part of my mission too. But wanting to really be all mind, body, spirit, but to just truly love living, to truly have that energy that says, I want to expand. I want this to be a legacy that I can be proud of when I go to spirit world too. And I can feel like a lot of pressure. And that reminds me of, and I just knocked on the wall. And that reminds me is it's like things can feel very daunting. They can feel very heavy getting things accomplished. And that's always been my hard part is I can look at something and it feels so daunting. I'll do something else instead. So part of my practice, especially this year, has been to do it anyways, to just get started, to make a smaller step out of it. That's been helpful for me too. And so gradually the voice of this is too much work, this is too much pressure, this is too hard, pulling me into something else, which needed to get done too, but still, that's starting to lessen. And then the new voice that's coming in is like, no, you can't do this. This isn't going to take that long. You totally can get this done. You don't have to wait till the last minute for full, for that full pressure, the marathon, the sprint versus the marathon. I tend to be the sprinter. So you and I are very much in that line. So there's a certain energy when it comes to our living versus living, like really living with passion, with desire, with purpose, with meaning, and putting the energy into that. And it drives you. It's the force inside of you that pulls you. And I think that means you come closer and closer into alignment with your soul or your higher self too. And that's where it gets very spiritual.
Yes. Well, I was just going to say, I'm so glad you named that, right? Because like you're talking about that difference that happens when you listen to that voice that says, oh, you can do this, right? Like you've got this, you can do this. And, we were talking about the voice, like the inner critic that's like, oh, it's not going to work out. Don't bother. It's too hard. It's too big, right? Like, why bother? And so in the process of helping people listen to that voice that says, oh, you can do this. And from understanding that that's people tapping into their guidance team, that listening to that voice of you can do this is people working with their team of guides and helpers, and how much that transforms and change everything. So I love that you're talking about noticing the difference in momentum and capacity when you listen to, what essentially in my world is your guidance team coming through and cheering and rooting you on.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And so this is where we, see that our spiritual work really does integrate with our career work too, whether it be a spiritual business or something different. You can apply your spirituality to anything that you do. So even if you're working in the corporate field, or whatever way that you do it, it can still be a spiritual experience for you. And it can open a lot of doors that way because you're getting into an energetic flow. Absolutely. Okay. Miss Vivian is asking, how do you describe yourself when clients ask, so what exactly can you do for me as a medium?
Yeah,
Go first, Shannon.
First off, I think she might have been asking Michael Christopher that question. I think that might have been part of the back and forth, but I still think it's a great opportunity. I think it's still a great opportunity. My response, whether it's as a medium, whether it's a coach, whether it's any of the work I'm doing, my universal response is always, I can help you get what you want. Right? Like that's my aim. Like, what do you want? Because I can help you get what you want. And the reason I use that response is that it generally gets people thinking immediately about what it is they want. And then you're off to the races, right? Because once you hone in, once you identify, boom, away we can go together. How about you? How do you describe yourself, Jennifer?
Yeah. I love that. And it brings me down another tangent of a lot of people just don't know what they want. And that's what makes it hard to get anywhere because they just even haven't clearly defined what they want just yet. They just know they want something different or something better. But to clarify that a little more is really important. Like, what do you want? And you may have different parts that want different things. So we have to put it all down like labyrinth criterion. We're saying she puts it all on paper too. So I've never had anyone ask me that question, Vivian, in that kind of way too. But I'm here to serve. And so I'm here to see if I can connect an experience for you with spirit that will help you to have some healing, some upliftment, come out better than when you started being with me. So I'm a bridge. That's my job, is to be a bridge between this world and the spirit world too. And I wish to do that in a way that is very loving and ethical and holding space for you so that you'll feel better afterwards. At the very least, feel some connection to spirit. But if you have, what we do as mediums can change people's lives forever, because they've all of a sudden they went from believing to knowing to, I cannot deny this happened. My person was here and my logical brain can't talk me out of it. And that's life changing for people too. But it's all about the healing for sure. So thank you, Vivian.
Great question, huh?
Yeah. Was there any other questions here too? Let me see. Nancy is saying, Natasha's saying, I've done healing courses. Do you think I will get into this work? I'm a dental nurse the past 23 years. I'm good with nervous patients. So you're already doing healing work as a dental nurse.
Spot on. Yeah. 100%. That a healer is who you are. And so, that I get a big yes to this, and that you're only beginning to scratch the surface of your capacity and your power. That, for so many people, being able to work with people, to hold people in that nervousness, right? Like that's the really hard thing. And it's like, you've got this natural ability around the hard thing that, that healing is going to actually be, it's like the healing part, almost like no big deal in terms of your abilities that you've already cultivated.
Yeah. Oh, you just froze just a little bit, but you're back too. So, Natasha, I was in cosmetology and personal training when I was much younger, before I was raising my family. And I didn't realize I was doing healing work back then. I thought I was doing something else. I didn't put the 2 and 2 together, but people would say, oh, you made my headache go away. How did you do that? And so I look back now and I realize that I was doing healing for people without even knowing. It was like my training ground. And I didn't think at all back then I would become a medium in the future. And it took years because I was, working, raising my family. And so, but years later, look at me now. So anything is possible. So if we can keep that mindset, anything is possible with taking the limitations out of our thinking, making the field of possibility bigger in your world, because the field of possibility actually is limitless. It goes.
You're so right. And so often, Jennifer, right, like, especially when it comes to career and, career or work in the world, right? Like, so in terms of becoming a healer, stepping more into your existing role as a healer, it's so often that things make sense in hindsight, right? Like the fact that when I was, I'm affectionately calling it collecting jobs now. But back in the day, it very much felt like failure after failure after failure. Like, oh, this job didn't work out. I mean, it was so bad that even at one point I got together at the holidays with my cousins, and my cousin's husband was like, all right, Shannon, so what are you doing for work? You're always good for a new job. Like, it was legitimately a thing, how I just, not only switching jobs, but getting laid off, laying myself off. And so, now I know that it was setting me up perfectly for this work, because I work so many jobs. I know just a little bit about everything, and became an expert in finding them. But I didn't know that's what was going on when it was happening. And so just to name that, like, so often when we think that what we're doing doesn't, isn't working out, isn't matching up, but then in hindsight to be able to see really the magic and the synchronicity of how it's all coming together. And so, many of us are just in that process of setting up the really good story for the future.
Absolutely. And I love that you found a way to do something with all of your different interests. And that's another, because I'm that way too. I literally said as a kid, I like doing so many things. How am I supposed to pick one? I said that when
Yes.
I was a little kid. I remember it. And so it's like, you don't have to pick one. You can find a way that incorporates all of your different interests. And you might not see the way, but you can find it for sure.
Well, and
So,
the other thing that's crazy is that I legitimately thought my destination was career coach. Like, oh, I have the answer. I never would have dreamed, or I would have never dreamed that like all of them these skills that I was developing from my coaching would then go on to support this work as a medium, as an angel messenger, as an intuitive. Yeah, I had no idea that that skill set was being developed by this work. So just when you think you've got it figured out, there are more surprises as well.
exactly. Exactly. So you think you're in the wrong place, but you're actually in the right place because it's getting you towards where you're going next. Too.
Absolutely.
So yes, there's a lot of validation here in the comments about just being yourself, being you, being true to yourself. So absolutely. What do you want? What do you really want? Yeah, asking yourself that questions. And then Mary followed that up with follow your dreams. Anything is possible. Just love that. Love that too. Um, I know we're getting close to time, Shannon, but I did want to touch a little bit about, and love that for you, Natasha, a little bit about the creative aspect, because you do work with creatives too. So if you could touch a little bit on that, because I know a lot of people here that are with us here today are also creatives. They're artists, they're musicians, healers, mediums, angel messengers like you.
Oh, you all are the best, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm so lucky because my clients are such fantastic people. They tend to be open to everything. I tend to bring a lot of creativity and intuition and fun into my process. And so my creatives are always up for anything. I learn just as much from them as they learn from me. And what I really love about creatives is they do tend to change it up often, right? They're always like, hey, well, what do I want to be when I grow up this time? And so helping them answer that question is just a ton of fun. And so I think number one for my creatives, reminding them that it's normal to change it up. It's normal to be making switches. That's one of the what makes you unique and interesting and fulfilled. And just some of the best people. I've worked with creatives who, ran theater companies. I've worked with, CFOs who were cartoonists on the side. I worked with a chief innovation officer who used to tour with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Oh, wow.
Just really all these fascinating, interesting people. And so what it in return gives me the permission to do is, my coaching and working with people in job and career isn't about, SMART goals, and it's not about, checklists and game plans. It really is about, on the surface level, imagination and creativity and tapping into natural momentum and all of that to fuel a process, and on the higher level, it's about working with your, for those that are interested and open, working with your guidance team and creating that space for flow and synchronicity and magic to occur in the job creation space. So yeah, I'm so lucky. It's you all are the best people to get to work with.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Shannon, so much. It's 1:11. How about that? You can't make this stuff up. Oh, so
Yep.
cool. We're not quite done yet, folks, but I just want to take a quick break. Just a quick reminder. If you could please heart our video, follow, subscribe over on YouTube. We greatly appreciate that. We so appreciate all your comments and your beautiful energy and positivity that you bring to the table too. We do have 2 more shows coming up today. Kelly Brickle is going to be interviewing Danny Santos, who is our astrologer friend we know, and he's also going to be our guest medium for a Sunday service for the Love of Spirit this coming Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific. MediumJenniferRose.com to sign up. And Nancy Murtel and I will be co-hosting Fashionably Spiritual tonight at 6:30 Pacific. Coming up on Monday, Karen Bonafilio, Inner Realms, Outer Journeys, Brian Lar with Be in the Light, and The Love Show, My Sister's Show. We've got Naomi and Martin coming on, their relationship educators. And next Friday on Embracing Infinity, I've got Melissa Callahan. We're talking all about the higher self And also Shannon Ratay is going to be Kelly Brickle's guest that afternoon. I just remembered. So that's one of the reasons why I did that whole thing all over again. And Shannon Ratay will be back next week with Kelly Brickle in the afternoon, probably about the 3:00 hour, I think, Pacific time, and on Messages from the Enchanted Realms with myself and Fran Pierce. The three of us co-host together next Saturday. And we're also celebrating Fairy Queen Fran's birthday with chocolate cake. Everybody, you're all invited. Bring cake. All right. Now, my friend, I got that all out. So thank you.
Very impressive.
Thank you, Shannon. I'm going to ask you what, any final words, what might you'd like to leave everybody with that they can also take with them before we come to a close here today. And thank you all for your lovely comments too.
Yeah, just that reminder that we live in a friendly universe, right? That sometimes life can throw us curveballs. We can see a lot of not good going on in the world, but at the end of the day, that we live in a friendly, supportive universe. And so from that place, continuing to ask yourself, what is it that I want? What is it that would make my life extraordinary? And then turning around and asking for help and going for it. Because, yeah, the world needs you and your extraordinary life to help make the world a better place.
There we go. The world needs you and your extraordinary life to help make the world a better place. There we go. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Miss Shannon. Thank you for being my guest here today. I love you, my dear friend, too. Beautiful. Thank you, Jennifer McCormick, and everybody who's joined us. Thank you so much for all your beautiful comments. A big thank you to our producer, Kelly Brickle. She's been taking care of us in the background here, making all this run smoothly. So we're so grateful for her. And of course, she will be back on in just a couple of hours for the Psychic Hour with guest Danny Santos, medium healer and astrology as well, too. Thank you, Brian. Love you. And we will keep shining our light. Indeed, we will. Please, everybody, live well, love you well. And we will see you next Friday on Embracing Infinity. Bye, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. See you soon.
You're so awesome, Jennifer. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. It was very hot in here and it was bogging me down a little bit. So I was trying to pull more energy out of myself.
You did great.
Oh my gosh. Well, it worked on Veronica's page. But Sacred Spiral was on.
Really
it just
quick.
Wasn't on your wall.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, really quick. If you want, I'm trying to get her to say hi for 2 seconds. Just say hi really quick.
Is that Mom? Hi, Mom. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Mom. I'm not used
Don't worry, you're not live. It's just the 4 of us.
Oh, hi, Mom. You're lovely ladies. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Aw, you're so sweet.
Jennifer and Shannon, I just want
Hi,
to
Jennifer and Shannon. Hi.
Yeah,
We're still live.
Maria.
We're still live, Kelly. We're still live.
We're still live.
We're still live.